Hi, everyone, and welcome to another class of Year 6 Geography. As per usual, Year 6, I'd like you to go through the revision from our previous lesson based on these three simple questions. So, first question is going to be, what are groins? Second one is, what are breakwaters? Third one is, what is a barrage? We went through this last lesson. I'm sure you guys remember the definitions, so it shouldn't be that complicated. Okay, let's start today's lesson. Our topic for today, Year 6, would be threats to coasts. So, coasts are very important for tourism and leisure. They are also where a lot of the fish and shellfish that we eat are farmed or caught. So, coasts and seas are also important wildlife habitats. And for all these reasons, it is essential that they are clean and unpolluted. Okay? Now we have what causes pollution along the coasts. So, today there are more than 7 billion people on Earth, and we make very large amounts of rubbish. Lots of this rubbish is dumped into the sea or into rivers that flow into the sea. This rubbish includes sewage, pesticides, and fertilizers from farmland, chemicals from factories, and warm water from power stations, and low level nuclear waste from hospitals and research laboratories. So, people visiting the coast often drop litter, and even more litter is washed onto the coast from ships at the sea. And litter not only spoils the beauty of the coast, but it can also be very dangerous. People and animals can be cut by broken glass. Fish, seabirds, seals, and other wildlife can become tangled in some types of litter, such as plastic bags, discarded from fishing line, pieces of fishing net, and the plastic loops that hold drink cans. And these animals eventually die, unfortunately. So, cleaning up litter is also very difficult and expensive to maintain. This picture, Year 6, is on page 42 of your books. It shows while feeding among rubbish, this white stork, which is a type of bird, has become tangled in a plastic bag, and unless it can free itself, it will die. If you remember Year 6, in our very first few lessons, we had a small talk about littering. You see, this is an example of why recycling is extremely important. Try your best not to litter, as these are the consequences that people face or animals. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Now we have down the drain. So, in many coastal towns and cities, sewage is treated to make it safe before it is put into the sea. But in some towns and cities, untreated sewage is pumped straight into the sea. See, that's extremely unsanitary. In the sea, bacteria feed on sewage and multiply. In other words, they extend, becoming in larger numbers. The bacteria then uses up the oxygen in the sweater, leaving litter for other sea life, which may die. Okay? The picture on your right shows litter unsightly and dangerous. As you can tell, all that litter right there already ruined the scenery and the beauty of the beach. And not only that, but it also contains many bacteria, which can potentially be problematic for the habitats of the animals living in that beach or the people being around that area. Okay? So now we have oil pollution. Oil accidentally spilled from the ships and rigs or deliberately dumped at sea, can kill seabirds, fish, and other sea life. And it also washes up on beaches, making them unfit for people or wildlife to use. The oil is very difficult and expensive to clean up, and the chemicals used to clean up the oil can themselves harm wildlife. The picture on your right is a beach closed because of oil pollution from a wrecked ship. This can be found on page 43 of your books. See, that's the aftermath from a wrecked ship that completely disposed oil into the sea. Now we have cleaner beaches. So many countries now have strict laws to ensure that waste chemicals and sewage are made safe because they are put into the sea. There are also laws to prevent people from dropping litter and ships from dumping waste oil. I'm sure we need some of these laws in Sudan, as you all know. So, uh, where these laws are enforced, the water and beaches are cleaner. And these laws are for people from preventing them from dumping waste oil. Okay, so that's for cleaner beaches. Now we have global warming, which is one of the biggest threats facing coastal areas. And if the world continues to become warmer, sea levels will rise. And this is going to be because the higher temperatures will make the water in the oceans expand. Not to mention, the polar ice caps will melt huge amounts of water to the oceans. And last but not least, there will be a significant rise in sea level, which could affect millions of people by flooding low lying areas near the coast. Okay, so that's the problem with global warming. For your homework year 6, I would like you to answer page 42 and 43 on your geography workbooks. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope it wasn't too complicated. As usual, if there's nothing that you don't understand, or if you feel like there's a few things that need to be understood again, feel free to go through the lesson, or feel free to drop me a message on Seesaw and I'll help you as much as I can. Thank you for listening and stay safe and hope to see you soon. Goodbye.